indicate that the foreign direct investment in Zambia stood at about 17 billion, of which China's FDI constituted about 19%, which is about 3.3 billion. So through the Zambia-China Trade and Economic Cooperation, China has also built the MFAs in Chambishi and in Lusaka. So the total investment in Chambishi, we have about 1.8 billion of investment. In the Lusaka one, approximately about $36 billion. And in terms of jobs, the Chambishi one has created about 7,300 jobs. Then the Lusaka one, approximately about 300 jobs. So our research indicated that most of the Chinese investment are actually greenfield investment. By greenfield, we are talking about the creation of business physical facilities that are new. So their mode, by and large, their mode of investment relies on greenfields as opposed to takeovers. We also noted some concern from the 37 companies that we had sampled, in that of those 37, only about 6 companies had some form of partnership with either the government or some local investors within the country. And we believe that partnerships, of course, between Zambians and foreign investors are engines of skills transfer and wealth creation. So in terms of the quality of employment that was generated by the Chinese companies, we realized that there was also another concern of union representation. Only a few of them had members of, employees belonging to a union. And this fact is not only unique to the Chinese firms. It's something that is of concern generally even to the other Zambian firms, because the union density in Zambia is literally very low. And we believe that industries with trade unions tend to have higher wages. So it is a matter of concern that generally as a country we need really to promote the presence of unions in industries. In terms of compliance with the minimum wage, I think almost all of them were compliant. But when it comes to workers that are not covered by the minimum wage, we realize that their salaries were not as competitive as their peers. The reason being the fact that their bargaining power was not that strong. For trade, in the recent past, we realized that I think from about data indicate that from about 2005, I think the trade between Zambia and China, Zambia has had a positive trade balance, a trade surplus, with an exception, I think, of maybe 2007. And basically, much of our exports are metals and some selected food items. Then some of the challenges that were highlighted as regards to the relations in terms of trade with the two countries, of course, the volatility in the exchange rate, the depreciation, of course, affected especially importers, Chinese and Zambians alike. So it is imperative that the country really continues to pursue policies that ensure stability in the exchange rate. Another challenge probably that came up between the two countries' relations is cultural differences and language barriers. Another challenge that came up was the fact that the Chinese representative complained of corruption and weak institutional framework, particularly from the state police and immigration authorities, who they accused of selective biasness. Then on the 20% contractual requirement guideline by government, that all government-funded contracts should be given to the locals, I think our view is that maybe it should be even increased to ensure that Zambians participate in economic activities. But they were also concerned that some Zambian contractors lacked the capacity to execute some of these works. So the issues of trying to build capacity, the issue of VAT refunds also came out, and we are hopeful that the country has taken a different route. This issue of VAT refunds will be a thing of the past with the introduction of the sales tax. Work permits, there were delays in terms of renewing and processing work permits for the Chinese. Of course, the delays put these people maybe vulnerable to bribery and corruption. So there should be a system when the permit is expiring, communication should be done in advance so that the people know what to do. So generally, I think the agreement was that foreign investors, Chinese included, should really focus on high impact investments as opposed to competing with the locals on retailing. So in terms of opportunities, China, of course, has got a lot of experience in industrial parks, the influence, so we can utilize that so that we have more industrial parks and multi-economic facility zones. In terms of recommendation, I think it's important and imperative that the government comes up with a strategy really to increase public awareness on the role of the Chinese investment in Zambia. Then there's also issues to do with trying to integrate the two cultures, especially the Chinese when coming to Zambia. There should be some basic orientation so that we reduce on the conflict between Zambians and generally Africans. So the other concerns generally with the investment is the fact that foreign firms import millions of spare parts and other supplies. Then insufficient foreign exchange, we understand that for instance, copper contributes more than 70% of Zambia's export earnings. However, this figure is misleading because very little comes back to the country.
Some issues of culture, basically an aspect of social life. We have seen babies being born, so we see this kind of aspect, but always the Zambian men are not allowed to get these Chinese women, but then they have access our women. What type of relationship is this? Then position from your set point.
First question on who should change. I think we are cognizant of the fact that, of course, we have challenges in terms of trying to push our development agenda forward and our work attitude as Zambians. I think the 7th National Development Plan recognizes this fact. There are challenges regarding our religious faiths and affiliations. As Zambians, of course, we should improve our work culture. I think we have tried to emphasize this even in one of our publications where we urge a mindset shift towards development issues.
PMRC, in your presentation, you talked of our immigration policy or those being friendlier. Can you try to expand or explain a bit more what you meant?
Somebody of a technician level cannot be admitted into the country because that skill is available. But depending on the type of the technology, because China is a bit more advanced than Zambia.
And just to follow up on the same question, I think there was a pronouncement, I'm not exactly sure how long ago, on the ban on two, I think, specific sectors, and that's rearing of chickens and block making businesses. I think there have been challenges with enforcing this pronouncement that was made regarding ownership of such businesses, as well as modalities of how this should be enforced. And then coming back to the question, I think that the other honourable member had raised on issues to do with technological transfer challenges, as well as copper exports. I think to begin with, one challenge that we have also is, I think, taking stock of the skills that we have in this country. Right now, we don't have an up-to-date audit of the skills that we have in this country. And so one of the challenges that we face is that when Chinese come and apply for work permits, we don't even know which skills we have in different sectors. And so they seem to take advantage of this and state that we do not have, say, a particular set of skills in a different sector, and that's why they are bringing in these people. So as a recommendation, I think it would be imperative for the country to go flat out and perform skills audits, and so that we also know, based on industry requirements, which skills are needed, so that we can begin to move in a direction where we can train people in these particular set of skills, so that we don't have these deficits and the challenges that come with the deficits of having an influx of Chinese people to take up these jobs, and then Zambians can take up the jobs.